before we get into the fundamentals here of the grains, I wanted to bring up a picture. This is a picture of one of our brokers here. This is Dan Darst. This is taken just a few hours west of us here, northwest Illinois, right outside of Galena. And you know, it does look like Dan's got his hands out like he wanted to try to sell it here today. But Rich, why don't you tell us here about these fundamentals?
That's a good picture to start off here. So we've got a great crop in mind. The market has maybe a couple different ideas, but let's first take a look at just a quick little history. Here's the past 2 weeks as far as precip-wise compared to normal. And if it's kind of a yellow or red, that means we've actually had below normal precip. So actually, the last couple of weeks have actually been a net drying period. So we are very wet going into this. We had a slight net drying. This doesn't mean these are dry conditions. This doesn't mean you had a net drying. It actually brings things more closer to normal here. As far as the next, before we get this one, let's just say the next 5 days. One thing we mentioned here is this weather forecast. Of course, the morning did take out the heat ridge, the lasting heat wave, and dryness. As far as the midday update, we've got to point out they did add more rain to this slight heat we have right now. In fact, one guy we watched on the midday update says 1 to 4 inches for almost the entire Midwest over the next 5 days. So we've added quite a bit more rain in the forecast than what was expected. As far as 6-10 days, so reaching into early next week, it does show we still got this heat. So in other words, these high 80s and low 90s will still be with us through early next week. One of the key things we're watching for right here is on the precip-wise, so this is precip for early next week, is there is no dryness, no drying trend going on right now. So essentially regular rains, and we have good heat. And that's not a market, that's not a crop-killing weather forecast by any measure here. As far as the conditions out this afternoon, right now they're expected steady with last week here for corn. So we still should see some numbers. So a pretty impressive crop. And I like the picture that Dan put up there. And in fact, some of the pictures we had running on the office as far as showing what the ear looks like right now. Certainly looks like we've got a record crop yield, in our opinion at least here. The trade right now does look for a little bit less than a slightly smaller crop than what, as far as yield-wise, what USDA plugged in, where our models still show we're looking at a record crop as far as our take on things. As far as the current mindset, as far as the current outside market influence, here's as of last Tuesday, we did report this large jump in the outside type of outside market buying right now. One thing we will point out is the trade as far as the floor, they keep on trying to make guesses for where they are as of Friday, for instance. So between Tuesday and Friday, we added up to about 193 of the current long position is what they estimated here. That's not including today's sell-off here. But the main point is outside, guys, we're looking at this as buying opportunity for the last couple of weeks here. As far as our price outlooks, we had said, and this came out, I want to say Friday, here we go, Friday the 9th is when we came out with this outlook here, and we said 415 is our point here for the highs for summer that we're going to get to at least, and we got to 410 on Thursday. So within 5 cents of that, close enough in our book to say we might have a top in here, and one thing we'll have to watch for is, of course, will this forecast change as of tomorrow morning? Because all last week the forecast changed every other day. So we'll have to see if this forecast for a more milder pattern holds here. But right now we still are suggesting this market anywhere $4 and above as a sell area. We're happy we got above there to get some more sold. So 4 to 420 remains our very clear sell areas here for corn. I want to point out downside here, 332, I believe that is. 333 is what that price is for our fall low, is what that suggests. For the soybean side, the trade is expecting a 1% drop in conditions as of this afternoon. As far as the type of buying, we did see extreme fund buying here last week, and as of from Tuesday to Friday, the trade actually was not looking for much of a fund buying, any additional moves. One thing which is kind of interesting to see here is look at where we are right now as far as this fund level and where we were last time. And we actually can see that price at that time was actually above that $10 mark. You're looking more around $10.20 or so. But price this time was actually just reaching over $9.50 as of last Tuesday. So in other words, even though we have the same amount of buying going on, prices were not moving to the same level at that time at least. So kind of interesting to see something like that here. Making it clear as far as the soybeans, we said last Thursday, you know what, our price outlook suggests 10.59 actually could be seen for a summer high. As of this point, the high came in obviously under that point. And to be honest with you guys, as we said before, anywhere 950 and above is still our point to sell on the soybeans. So even though this price outlook says we might have a little more here in the next few weeks, right now we're still saying 950 and above is our selling area here for soybeans. So we're very happy about the current price move. Just a couple of things as far as a couple of quick charts on wheat. One thing we point out is here's the Chicago wheat contract. These are the largest long position in wheat for all year, and in fact, you got to go back to the last quarter of last year before finding a similar one. As far as the KC contract, look at this one here. The blue line are the managed money, in other words, the outside money type of guys, and you got to go back. This is even breaking not only just this year, but even last year's record long year or last year's long year for KC wheat contracts. So as far as our main point, these are currently. We've got to see if this forecast holds here for tomorrow morning, but the main point is we are still in selling areas for corn.